This video will show you how to calculate mean, variances, and standard deviations of a probability distribution. So we're going to first start off with calculating the mean. So what you want to do first is when you are in, we're going to be working on your problem. What you want to do here is click on the copy table, and then you want to make a space delimited copy. So delimited just means that how is the data getting separated? Is it separated by spaces, commas, and so on, so it knows how to break it up into the columns when it gets copied over. So if I do that, and then if I click right here, because this is where the words would go, I can do Control V or Edit Paste, and then we set, it says here, use spaces delimiters, so now it'll know to spread it into two columns. So here's dogs and here's households. Now, to figure out the probability, and then that's going to be our P of X, we're going to put that here. And then to calculate the probability, what we're going to do is go to, first we're going to go Calc, and then we're going to do column statistics. So I need to sum this household column. So if I go in here and put in households, it will sum it, and I'll put what the value is of that here. Then what I want to do is put the probabilities here. So I'm going to go to Calculator, and then what I'm doing is I am taking the households, so each household in the column, and then I'm dividing it by 2052. Okay, and if you have a number pad, or you can use that or the numbers across the top of the keyboard. Check out, yep, that's fine. Or you can use your number pad here. So then we want to tell it where to store it, and our empty column is C3, so we want it to go here. So we want it to store it in the P of X column, which is C3, and then we want it to do this computation, and then we hit OK, and it fills it all in. Now to do the mean, we want X times P of X. Okay, so what X is dog. So if you're not quite sure, you're not remembering that, that's what it is in this column. So I thought I maybe could edit it. Let's see, clear. Yeah, we'll just leave it, but X is your dogs column here. So then what you're going to do is go back to Calculator, and what are we doing? We're taking, or we're putting in XP of X, so this is your store. Then we're going to take an expression, we're going to take dogs, and then times P of X, the probability, and then pick it up. So dogs, so I double click, and times, and then P of X, and then hit OK. And then what it did is I multiplied this column times this column, and then to complete it, you need to sum it. So you're going to go back to that Calc, column statistics, and we're going to sum it. And what are we summing? We want to sum C4. And then we hit OK, and we can see 0.538. If we look here, it says round to the nearest tenth, and 0.5 is our answer. So the next thing we want to do is calculate the variance. Now to calculate the variance, we want to go to this formula here. So it's a study tip in your book. So it's easier to compute x squared, multiply x squared by each probability, total that up, and then subtract off the mean squared. So we're going to go over to here, and we need to get x squared. I'm just going to put x2. So what I'm going to do is, remember dogs is our x, so we're going to go to Calculator, and then in that last column, x squared, we're going to take our dogs again, but instead of multiplying by P of X, we're going to square it. So let's see, I don't see, there might be one in here to square it, but we don't need to do that. We're just going to multiply dogs times dogs, which is the same thing. So dogs times dogs, which is the same thing as x squared, hit OK, and then it squared all these numbers. And then what we need to do is, it's telling you to take x squared times P of X. So we have x2 P of X So what we're going to do is take our calculator. So again, calculator, and we're doing, we want x squared times p of x. We're going to do, or we're going to store it over here. So we're going to store it in C6. And then for our expression, we're going to take x squared times p of x and hit OK. And then there we have all of our numbers. So then what we need to do is we need to go ahead and sum this column. So what I can do is go to calc, column statistics, and we're going to sum again, and we're summing this column, the x squared p of x column, and then hit OK. So now we have that value, and then we can get out our calculator, and let's see if I can move it over here so we can see everything. So we want our x squared, which is 1.15253, and be careful not to round. We don't need to do that unnecessarily. So we have that, and then we have minus, and then here is our mean, and it's 0.53849, and we're going to square it. So you might have a squared key like that. You might have a caret and then 2. So I'm going to go ahead and square it, and I'm going to cross my fingers and hit enter. And then it says here, round the variance to the nearest tenth. So if I round my variance, I get 0.9. Because we already rounded it up for the mean, we could have tried that. Let me see. We can try that. Whoops. And then hit enter and see if we come up with the same. Yeah, we would have come up with the same value. So if you have any issues with rounding, just let me know. I think I'm more inclined to not use such a rounded number, but at least for this problem, we could go ahead and use that mean that we calculated. Now, to do standard deviation, round to the nearest tenth. Let's see. We're going to go over here again, and we came up with 0.9, so we can just try to see if we do the second square root of 0.9. So you hopefully have a square root button, and then hit enter, and then again it's 0.9. So we match that there by rounding. And let's see. There we go. So that is how to do all the calculations using MiniTab.